started flying here, most of these towers were full of stuff. CA still probably pretty well the same, maybe even more kit. It's a bit crosswind, and the back side of the hill. Every so often, every 30 seconds, look round, check the airspace. Particularly, you also want to be thinking about checking areas that are outside. So here, we've got the rise to the trig point. You can't see over there. And what that means is you either need to look out and or constantly be checking to see if anybody's walking. Because while you can't see straight over the top, you can check along the side, the main areas where folks walk up. Another good thing to do would be a short walk check just before popping the wing. So risks here would be getting blown over on the lee side. Also using audio, so you're listening for folks. Now, despite the fact you can't see over that way, a short walk round to the side lets you check. So you kind of walk on up there. Now I happen to know there was nobody coming up the road on foot. There was a dog walker going down. I also had a good look round when I was taking pictures and couldn't see anybody coming up the normal paths to the top here. So just tease this out. Key thing with this is don't even really look at it. So you want to be checking your airspace just as you shake it out. Most of these type of tangle loops are illusions. If you look at it, you're actually much more likely to tangle it. Because you'll start trying to pull things through that don't need to be pulled through. Check the airspace. I usually don't bother when I've got the camera to do this fully. You actually want to be looking overhead to check for any aircraft that are coming into top land. But A, it tends to mess up exposure. B, it tends to make the viewers a bit dizzy. And slightly more relevantly, my peripheral vision is also, I can look up much more than the camera can. Right, so from there I want a slow peel, rechecking, give it time, and then brakes only to get the tips down. Harness is controlling the centre. Check it looks okay, and decide whether I want speed system on or not. And at the moment I'm just not bothering, so I'm just tidying this out a wee bit more. It's fine, it's not all tucked away out of the way. Recheck, good look round, check the airspace, feel for the air, let it settle. I'm going under the wing rather than trying to bring the wing overhead. Okay, so we've got a nice fresh breeze there. And tiptoeing back, slow backtrack. Direction's pretty decent. Wings in a good position. Above and fractionally in front at times, above and slightly behind. Certainly don't want to take off when it's behind you. No committed launch, no running. So we've got a nice view of a lot of our sites along there, mainly southeasterly sites. We've got other directions. Okay. Right, so all clear. Let the wing roll very slightly to centred. Just wait for the pitch. Do a wee fine adjustment on the harness. Now the plan today is just little hops. Can't be bothered having to walk any great distance. Certainly not worth it this time of night, well, afternoon. It's not worth burning lots of fuel to go to collapsible. It's really quite far enough. There we go, launching. See, nice easy glide. Gain a wee bit height, mush it into the stall, stalling, and ease off the brakes. Wings behind me. Brakes are almost nothing on the brakes, it's all the risers. Slight stepping and slight turning, mainly for roll control at the moment. If I step back faster, it helps correct the pitch, get the wing back where I ideally want it, which at the moment, because I'm backtracking, ideal is above and fractionally behind. Turn, step, and only if need be, tiny assist. So there I may be alter the brake by an inch. Mainly harness control. Same as the information from the wing comes mainly via the harness. Checking the airspace, remembering my peripheral vision lets me look not just straight behind but actually beyond straight behind. So when I turn the head left and right, there's an overlap of probably as much as 30 degrees. Okay, I'm just tiptoeing back up to the top. This is likely to be another narration video. Okay, so now I've got to flick round to increase the trim speed. There we go. Wee bit brake to assist, that was a tiny touch of right brake added, maybe about 3 inches, but mainly on roll control. And again, roll control there. Waiting until the pitch is correct. So I want the wing to be nodded forwards. At the moment it's still above and behind me. So waiting. It's a wee bit better there. Still hanging back a bit. If I flick round, I'll change the trim speed. Reconfiguring the glider to want it to fly slightly faster. So flicking round. Also it's easier to get the zero brakes. Tiptoe on ground speed and touch. Step the wrong way. Get the wing to take me the way I want to go. Keep checking the airspace. Turn, step, and only if need be reassist. So it was a tiny bit of right brake. Turn, step, reassist. Tiny bit left brake. Changing brake, less than an inch. Mainly the harness. As you come back up to the top, more wind speed here. Glider's aligning with airflow. Feeling changes in tension. It's not pressure change, changes in tension on the risers. Correcting that with turns from the feet and the harness to warp the wing. Only if need be, once I've done the step. Slight changes in the brakes, mainly with easing off a brake, slight changes in the brakes to assist. Okay, and the wings hanging back slightly, nodding forwards, changing the air. Not quite enough lift there yet. Could certainly take off easily enough, but I want to get the best bit of lift. There it's picking up a wee bit. Wings still hanging back. Let it start to slide forward. And too much, you just abort. So the wing is in good position there. On the previous one, by the time I'd passed that stone, already getting nice lift there. The wing was still slightly behind me. Turn, step, didn't need any assist on the brake. Rolling the wing level. So as I come up to the top and flick round, change the trim speed. Works both in the ground and the air. In the air you can get as much as 3 knots extra airspeed on your typical wing. Also it's much easier to get that zero brake position. So, and holding it into the stall as you touch down, easing off the brakes. Check the airspace. Using peripheral vision to check clear behind. Backtracking, so negative ground speed. So wind speed minus ground speed gives me the airspeed. checking the airspace. Step the wrong way to set the glider up to take me the way I then want to go. Okay, checking. Could be kids hiding down there, but it's not a nice sunny day, it's unlikely. We really want to have a good idea of the 360-degree horizontal of persons, usually non-pilot's position. And you want to have your dome in overhead and behind, particularly behind, checking for other aircraft. So when you look up, you're not looking at the wing, as in your wing, you're looking to see if there's anyone else. Okay. Bear in mind, fly around, get more lift there, then there's more effort. Day like today with the sight, not much point. Just lazy, have a bit of fun, provide another useful video for students. Now we're going to get the dive. Get the dive because I did that push. You don't push, you don't dive. Holding into the stall and easing off the brakes progressively. Check the airspace. Slowly backtracking. Remember, this is going to be negative value on your ground speed. So it's wind speed minus ground speed. So if it was negative 5, that's 5, whatever units you're in, off your airspeed. Makes your glider go softer. So backtracking is a delicate art, but it makes for much safer takeoffs because it gives you a longer tiptoe to add on extra airspeed. So if you've got positive value on your ground speed, it's wind speed plus ground speed, giving you more airspeed at takeoff. Okay, so we've got gusts coming in there. Quick roll control. Reassist with the brakes, get ready to flick round. Remember, you don't want to get blown over the back. Aside from that, you just got to walk then. There we go. That's larger gust factor at the moment. Still probably not more than about 4 knots. Okay, now wind turbine above the quarry. I'm just seeing the blade starting to turn now. One shot really on the camera. Visually, it's just to the left of Kilpurny Tower. Checking the airspace. Again, the glider's much more active, more information coming down the risers. Brakes still not give you much. It's predominantly fly with the harness, information from the risers. Okay, flicking around. We'll let it start to slide forward next time it feels like it wants to fly. So not ideal. Let it slide, 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 slide. Keep the legs ready. Retract the undercarriage. Wee bit zoom climb. Touch. So clearly that one wasn't going at the best point in time. Went into a slight down cycle. But nothing's ever wasted. Get ready to flick round if you feel the glider's too far back. However, the turn, step, didn't need any assist to speak of apart from slightly less brake on the other side. The turn and step rolled the glider level. That let it correct its pitch. Check the airspace. Remember, certainly on sites where other folks are flying in, particularly if it's hang gliders, you really want to be having a good look at that overhead. Now you may have seen the tip line go slightly short, slightly soft there, as it effectively shortened. And you also got the audio information, your rustle, but you certainly don't want to be looking at the wing. You're flying at my feel. It gives you information well in advance of any visual cues. Backtracking up, keep checking behind, and flicking around to change the trim speed. Much easier to go with zero brakes. Now we can see the 2 jack-up rigs which are in the T. So the top of the cloud is now below them. So it's not the cloud base that's changed, but the cloud top. steps. Probably changed by about 100 feet maybe. So generally speaking, I would cut round to the right if I was wanting to actually soar that. Changes in the airflow there. Let's just see what we've got. We'll get a dive in a second. There it goes. And into a backtrack, checking the airspace. Flip round. Tip line's going soft again, unrecovered. There's a rustle off the right hand wing. Again, just correcting it with the harness. And the tip just popped out. Turning, stepping, and only if need be reassist. Again, often assist is a case of easing off the brake. The brake you're easing off is already very soft. But the idea is you're moving the energy about the wing. Okay, much stronger bit coming in just now. Wing is still slightly behind me, so it's not ready to fly. Another thing to bear in mind is that the relative humidity is fairly high, so the longer you're doing this on a day like today, the more moisture you're getting into the wing, which is more mass. It doesn't make a vast difference, but if you were doing this for hours, it does start to become a factor to consider. Checking behind, is nodding, and rustle on the left hand wing, and then the right hand wing as it side slips left and right. Brake line's gone soft, so ease off any brake, mainly because the information from the risers is telling me that the wing is already slightly behind. That's why you read the risers, not the brakes. Risers are kind of what is happening or what's about to happen. Brakes, more the past tense. Okay, let's go for a wee jaunt to see what's out here. Go through the sinky bit. Check the airspace. Shoulder, enough to give a bit of fun, but we turn in, and then use the wing, hopefully, take me back up to the top if there's enough wind. Remember, once you're down on the ground here, you're generally going to get a bit less. You certainly don't have your airspeed, so the airspeed is just the wind speed. And the wing rolled left, reading the information particularly from the right hand riser. Changing the ground speed as need be. The main correction there was easing off any left brake. The brake was very soft. The riser position was telling me even with a soft brake, still too much brake. Probably time to flick around. Get ready to acquire the ease. Recheck the airspace. Let them settle, hands forwards. Recheck peripheral and bounce. Recheck and bounce. Remember, you can't see if somebody's taking off up there. Take the time again. Okay, reacquire. Slow peel. Settle. Check the trailing edge. Trailing edge is good. Otherwise, don't look at the wing. Wait for it to settle again. Reacquiring. Check your airspace. Slow trim speed down by facing flight direction. Way too many jackets zipped up at the moment. Starting to overheat. Glider do the work. It's taking its own weight and probably, so I feel maybe 10 kilos of my weight uphill. And you'll be checking overhead if there's other pilots flying. Remember, negative ground speed, in case of wind speed, minus ground speed, or if you prefer, wind speed plus the negative value. Maths is the same. I'm aiming now, keep the wing rolled slightly to my right, most of this bit. As we get up with the wing, get more to the top ridge height. Now getting maybe a 20 kilo of my weight times being supported by the wing. This type of backtrack is the sort of time when you are actually using a bit more brakes than we would normally. You're still looking at the maximum tension is just a few ounces, a fraction of a kilo, but the position for the brake may end up being quite a bit lower, maybe as much as 1.5 2 foot occasions, say a third of a metre. That's at the maximum. It's not as if there's any tension on it. It's still quite soft. You could easily do that with a single finger without distorting the handle. Primary control is still the harness. The main reason for using the brakes here is you're wanting to stop the wing from properly flying at correct pitch. You want to keep it pitch positive, and you want to keep the wing above, a bit behind you. Checking your space as always. Remember, you'd also be looking overhead, but as mentioned, peripheral vision gives me a lot better view. Okay. But emails, I need to check those. A few clients, so I sort out with photo shoot stuff. So all we do is take the wing across there slightly. So its weight. Checking either that or could backtrack slightly further and drop into the dead zone. Actually, do that. Take it back, drop in the dead zone with the safety risers. Let the wing surge. Goes quite soft. Couple of fingertips. Wee step with the harness, and that's the wing packed. Current wind speed at the top, as you can probably see the heather moving. Wind speed up here is probably about 15 knots.